Week 9. Take charge of your nutrition. Article Real Appeal Articles Week 9. Real Appeal Articles Week 9. Your articles for the week in one easy click. We hope you have a great week with Real Appeal. Review this week's articles and reflect on your takeaways and learnings. Remember, you got this. Here are your articles this week. 7 strategies to shop healthy. Planning and preparing for a grocery run will help you stay on track, save time, and lose more weight. Buying on a budget. Stay on top of your budget with money-saving tips and smart shopping tricks. How to read nutrition labels. Discover what to look out for when reading nutrition labels. How to investigate ingredients. Take charge of your nutrition by discovering what's really in the food you eat. A guide to navigate the grocery store. Explore each section of the grocery store and have strategies to take control of your nutrition. Don't be fooled by food packaging claims. Learn more about common food claims to make informed decisions on the foods you buy. The scoop on sodium. Don't let sodium stand in the way of living your healthiest life. Week 9 Wellness Drop Summary. Recipe, workout, and mindfulness tip for the week. Article 7 Strategies to Shop Healthy. 7 strategies to shop healthy. Planning and preparing for a grocery run would help you stay on track, save time, and lose more weight. With so much going on in our lives, grocery shopping can feel overwhelming, but done mindfully can be rewarding and fun. Knowing how to grocery shop is key to taking charge of your health. Are you ready to shop healthy? Review the 7 strategies to help you shop healthy, save time and money, and limit temptation. 7 strategies to shop healthy. 1. Take inventory and create a list. Assess what you have for food and then throw out what's expired or donate what you don't want in your house. Check labels and ingredient list if you are unsure about keeping or tossing an item. Keep some treats available so that you don't feel deprived. Create a list of what you will need to buy based on your inventory. Take a look at the staple shopping list at the end of this article for more ideas. 2. Meal plan to make life easier. Plan meals and snacks you and your meal mates will enjoy for the week. Look at your schedule and decide how many meals and snacks you want to plan. Ask your meal mates for input and preference while planning. Great meals and snacks can be easily made in bulk and are versatile for any meal. Examples: you can cook greens, brown rice, quinoa, whole grain, pasta, oats in one big batch. Roasting a pan of fresh or frozen vegetables is a quick and easy option to have on hand at all times. Make individual snack packs of healthy options like nuts, seeds, dry fruits, etc. Plan simple meals. Try out a meal planning app or use this weekly meal planner you can fill out online or print. Add your meal plan ingredients to your shopping list. 3. Decide how you will shop. Whether you go to the store, opt for curbside pickup, or choose delivery, schedule it before you run out of groceries. Find which grocery stores offer curbside pickup or delivery. Determine which grocery store you'll visit and put it on your calendar. 4. Don't shop while hungry. Research shows that shopping while you are hungry can lead to more impulse purchases. Use grocery delivery apps or curbside pickups to eliminate last-minute temptations. Eat a balanced meal or snack before heading to the store. 5. Stick to the outside aisles. You can find fresh foods on the outside aisles of the store. including fruit, vegetables, lean meat, seafood, and more. Some healthy foods such as canned beans, olive oil, nuts, and seeds tend to be in the middle aisles. Stick to what's on your list and do your best not to get lured into buying highly processed foods found in the middle aisles. 6. Read and compare labels. Look for foods with more fiber and protein. Look for foods with less sugar, sodium, and saturated fats. 7. Stock up to save money. Look for coupons online and in store for items you regularly buy. Buy store brand items and purchase items in bulk since many stores offer discounted prices. Stock up on foods you can store in your pantry and freezer when they go on sale. Examples: rice, beans, pasta, canned goods. These strategies can take your next grocery shopping experience to a whole new level of health. Review the grocery shopping do's and don'ts for a quick summary. Tips: do eat a balanced snack before. Don't shop hungry. Do stick to the perimeter. Don't go in and out of every aisle. Do buy healthy items in bulk when they are on sale. Don't buy family-sized portions of treats and snack foods. Do create a list and stick to it. Don't guess what you need. Do read the ingredients and labels. Don't assume something is healthy. When you get home from grocery shopping, portion your snack foods into reasonable serving sizes and put them in individual containers or bags. Wash fruits and herbs such as berries, grapes, parsley, and cilantro in a 3-to-1 water and vinegar mixture. Thoroughly dry your produce before storing it in an airtight container lined with a paper towel to last longer and preserve freshness. Cooking more of your meals at home means having more control over your food. You get to decide what you put into your food and how much. Saving more money, you save roughly $9 per person for each meal at home. Eating fewer calories, you consume fewer calories when you cook at home compared to dining out. Below, take a look at the staples to stock up on at home. Staples to build your shopping list. Here's a simple staples shopping list you can print or open from your phone. This list is designed to make healthy shopping easier. Feel free to choose healthy options that aren't listed. Use this guide to help you stock up on all the essentials: produce, fruits, vegetables, herbs, grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, dressings, oils and sauces, dairy and protein, animal, vegetarian. You can choose healthy options from each category. This list will help you prepare healthy meals and snacks during your week. If you're not sure how to prepare some things, we have some great cooking tips in Appendix A of the Real Foods Nutrition Guide. Produce, fruit, apples, bananas, berries, oranges, lemons, grapes, mangoes, plantains, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, kiwis, watermelons, pears, pineapples, avocados. Vegetables: broccoli, bell peppers, Brussels sprouts, green beans, asparagus, cucumbers, radishes, cabbages, turnips, squashes, carrots, sweet potatoes, cauliflowers, artichoke, eggplants, mushrooms. Salad greens: arugula, romaine, watercress, spinach, kale, sweet chard, frozen vegetables. Herbs: garlic, onion, fresh basil, fresh rosemary, fresh mint. Grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Grains: barley, bulgur, cracked wheat, farro, quinoa, brown rice, millet, amaranth. Whole grain cereals, breads, pastas, oatmeal. Legumes: beans, black, kidney, pinto, lima, garbanzo, chickpeas, napi, fava, edamame, soybean. Lentils: red, green, yellow, black, split peas. Nuts and seeds, preferably unsalted or lightly salted. Nuts: almonds, pistachios, walnuts, cashews, pecans, macadamia, pine, seeds, sunflower, pumpkin, chia, flax, ham, sesame. Dressings, oils, vinegar, and sauces. Dressings aim for regular or reduced fat and avoid fat-free or creamy. Strive to have the first few ingredients of dressing consist of oil, water, and vinegar. Aim to have less than 2 grams of sugar and 250 milligrams of sodium per serving. Oils and vinegar. Oils like olive, grass, grape seed, avocado, coconut, sesame. Vinegar, red wine, balsamic, rice, white wine, apple cider. Sauces, ranch for tomato-based pasta sauces and simple ingredients, and avoid cream-based sauces. Aim to have less than 360 milligrams of sodium and under 5 grams of sugar per serving. Condiments, be mindful of sugar and sodium content. Mustard, honey, Dijon, brown, yellow. Barbecue sauce, ketchup, relish, pico de gallo, hot sauce, tahini, soy sauce, liquid, aminos. Dairy cheese, aim for lower fat cheeses such as cottage, Parmesan, ricotta, and mozzarella, as well as Parmesan breaks that you can grate freshly. Milk, choose 1%, 2% skim or on flavor and unsweetened plant-based milk. Yogurt, look for non-fat or low-fat Greek yogurt, plain and low-sugar options. Animal protein, red meat. Try to stick to 4 ounces per serving and aim for lean cuts. Top round, bottom round, top sirloin, top loin, chuck shoulder. Ground beef, aim for 90 to 95% lean. Wine, meat, poultry, choose skinless options and stick to 5 ounces per serving. Pork, select lean cuts, pork, loin, tenderloin, tenderloin, and ham. Deli meats, choose low sodium options. Eat once per week and try to avoid the nitrates. Fish, choose low mercury options. Atlantic mackerel, salmon, cod, haddock, trout, crab, sardines, anchovies, scallops, catfish. Eggs, eat the egg yolk for added protein and nutrients. Vegetarian protein. In addition to beans, legumes, nuts, seeds, and some grains and vegetables, tofu and tempeh are great protein sources. Tofu, soy-based meat alternative. Look for firm or extra firm written on the package. Tempeh, soy-based meat alternative. Nutty flavor and chewy texture. Nutritional use. This is sold commercially as a yellow powder. Or flakes and has a juicy flavor. Sprinkle it on top or into your favorite dishes for added protein, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Preparing for a healthy grocery shopping experience means you have a list and a plan. Continue to revisit the staple shopping list to help you remember what works best for your meals and snacks. Article, buying on a budget. Buying on a budget, staying on top of your budget with money saving tips and smart shopping tricks. A common misconception is that eating healthy means spending hundreds of dollars on one grocery haul. The truth is, eating healthy doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. With a little thought and effort before your next grocery run, you can start saving and staying on budget. Smart saving tips. Review these smart saving tips on fruits, vegetables, grains, and legumes. Buy fresh, frozen, and canned fruits and vegetables. Fresh produce is typically less expensive when it's in season, and it might have more nutrients and better flavor. Summer, blackberries, peaches, watermelon, zucchini, green beans, broccoli. Spring, apricots, mango, asparagus, strawberries, pineapple, rhubarb, winter oranges, turnips, kale, radishes, grapefruit, full apples, figs, grapes, butternut, squash, potatoes, mushroom, pomegranate. Check out this seasonal produce guide for more inspiration. Frozen options that will last longer and still contain many nutrients and benefits. Make sure there are no other added ingredients by checking the ingredient list. Example, frozen bag of broccoli should have broccoli as the only ingredient. Canned, wash and drain canned vegetables to rinse off excess sodium. Aim for canned fruit and water or 100% juice versus syrup. Look for non-BPA lined canned goods. Buy whole grains, beans, and legumes in bulk and canned. Bulk, some affordable whole grains are whole wheat, oats, pasta, and brown rice. These items usually come with a deal at the grocery store when bought in bulk. Example, 4 boxes of whole grain pasta for $5. You can also buy dry beans in bulk and save an average of 30% to 50%. Canned beans and legumes have a long shelf life. They may cost less than 50 cents per serving. Look for deals by buying in bulk for canned goods similar to canned vegetables. Rinse and drain canned beans to avoid excess sodium. More smart saving tips. Follow these quick and easy tips to add more budget-friendly ideas to your next grocery run. Look for coupons in your local newspaper, grocery store ads. You can find deals and coupons in online ads and websites. Grow an herb garden. You can do this in your own kitchen with an indoor herb garden. Only buy what you will use. Use a list and stick to what you will eat so that you are not throwing things out as often. Fewer trips to the store, more money saved. Stick to going to the grocery store once per week to avoid overspending. Dollar stores can come in handy. Most dollar stores have many of the same grocery items for cheaper. Compare store brands versus national brands. Store and generic brands products cost about 25% less than national brands. Usually the only thing that's different is the brand. Be sure to check the labels. Create a meal plan. The average cost of a meal at home is less than $3 per person versus $13 per person when dining out. What tips and strategies would you use to stay on budget during your next grocery trip? Remember, frozen can be just as good as fresh, and be sure to rinse those canned vegetables and legumes. Here's to you proving you can be on a budget and still eat healthy. Article: How to read nutrition labels. How to read nutrition labels. Discover what to look out for when reading nutrition labels. You may have heard the phrase, "you are what you eat" before, but in today's world, sometimes we don't even know what's in the food we consume. To take control of your nutrition, it helps to be aware of what you are eating. How do you do this? By looking at the nutrition labels. Food labels tell you what's in the food and drinks you are consuming. Every packaged and processed product should have a label to help you determine its nutrition content. The highlights on the label below indicate how to approach these different kinds of nutrients. Green. Most people could stand to eat more protein and dietary fiber. Enjoy this frequently. Yellow. Slow down and check the saturated fat and calorie content. Consume mindfully. Red. Stay mindful and limit sodium, trans fats, and added sugars. Decoding the labels. Labels are based on the assumption that people consume 2,000 calories per day. You may need more or less than 2,000 calories based on your age, gender, activity level, and whether you want to lose, gain, or maintain weight. Start at the serving size at the top of each nutrition label. All of the nutrition information is based on serving size. Serving size, this is based on the amount of food that people might eat at one time. It's not a recommendation for how much to eat. Calories. Calories measure the amount of energy in one serving. Total fat. This is all the fat in a serving, including unsaturated, saturated, and trans fat. Unsaturated fat, you won't always see unsaturated fat listed on food labels, but the amount will be whatever isn't counted in saturated or trans fats. Prioritize eating foods that contain these types of fats. Saturated fats. Saturated fats are common in foods and most people eat too many of them. Try to limit intake of saturated fat. Trans fat. It's rare to find trans fats in foods these days, but it's still a good idea to check the labels for partially hydrogenated oils and avoid eating foods that contain it. Sodium. This measures the sodium per serving. Your body needs some sodium to function, but most people consume far too much of it. Aim to select foods that are lower in sodium. Total carbohydrate. This measures the total amount of carbohydrates in a serving. Carbohydrates are the starches, sugars, and fibers that give your body energy. Fiber helps you feel fuller for longer and supports digestion and weight loss. Aim to consume more of it. Added sugars. Added sugar helps make food taste good, but most people consume too much of it. It's best to limit your intake. Protein. This measures the protein in a serving. Protein is essential for healthy cell structure and function and helps you feel full and satisfied. The percentage daily value. The daily value, DV, is the recommended amount of a nutrient to consume or not exceed daily. The percentage DV you see on food labels is the percentage of that nutrient in a single serving. Use the following as a guide. Low in nutrients. If a serving has 5% DV or less of a nutrient, the food is considered low in that nutrient. High nutrient. If a serving has at least 20% deviant of a nutrient, the food is considered high in that nutrient. Using nutrition information to support weight loss. You can use food labels to help meet your health goals. When taking weight management medications, you might be eating less overall, so it becomes even more important to be aware of the nutrients in the foods you do consume. Stay full and energized for longer. Consider adding sources of protein, fiber, and healthy fats into every meal and snacks to feel full for longer and support your body with long-lasting energy. Increase protein. Protein intake is especially important as you lose weight because it helps you maintain muscle mass. Aim to consume at least 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight or 0.45 grams of protein per pound. To find your weight in kilograms, divide your weight in pounds by 2.2. A body weight of 200 pounds is equal to about 91 kilograms. So with a DV of 91 grams of protein, high protein foods would need at least 18.2 grams of protein per serving. Protein sources: eggs, low-fat dairy products like Greek yogurt and cottage cheese, tofu and other soy products, lean meat, poultry, fish, shellfish. Add fiber. The Food and Drug Administration (FDA) recommends a DV of at least 28 grams of fiber for every 2,000 calories. This might be slightly higher or lower depending on your sex and age. If your DV is 28 grams, high fiber foods would need at least 5.6 grams of fiber per serving. Fiber sources: whole grain carbohydrates like pasta and barley, fruits, vegetables, legumes like beans, lentils, and peas. Prioritize healthy fats. The FDA recommends a DV of 78 grams of total fat for every 2,000 calories. The exact number varies depending on calorie needs. Aim to make the majority of your fat intake unsaturated fats. If your DV is 78 grams of total fat, around 55 to 65 grams should ideally be healthy unsaturated fats. Unsaturated fat sources: olives and olive oil, nuts, avocado, seeds, fish. Improve blood sugar and cholesterol levels. Limiting your intake of saturated fat, processed carbs, and added sugar and sodium does wonders for your health. When consuming high amounts, these nutrients raise your blood sugar and cholesterol levels. This increases your risk for heart disease, diabetes, and other health issues. Limit saturated fats. It's recommended to keep your saturated fat intake to less than 10% of calories. With 2,000 calories, this would be around 22 grams or less of saturated fat daily. Saturated fat sources: cheese, sausage, whole fat dairy products, butter, chicken, skin, baked goods, processed snack foods. Replace refined grains. It's recommended to make at least half of your daily grains whole grains. With 2,000 calories, this would be 137.5 grams or less of refined grains daily. Refined grain sources: white bread, cereal, pasta, white rice. Reduce added sugar and sodium. It's recommended to limit your daily intake of added sugar to less than 10% of calories and salt to less than 1 teaspoon. With 2,000 calories, this would be less than 50 grams of added sugar and less than 2,300 milligrams of sodium. High added sugar sources: sweetened beverages like soda and juice, baked goods, candies, salad dressings, and sauces. High sodium sources: savory snacks, canned soup or chili, cheese, cold cuts, fast food, instant noodles. Why reading labels is so important. It may take some time and effort to check nutrition labels, but the more you do it, the faster and easier it becomes. Understanding labels is one of the most helpful ways to stay on top of your nutrition. Plus, knowing what's in your food is an amazing way to feel empowered on the path to a healthier you. You can do this. Article: How to investigate ingredients. How to investigate ingredients. Take charge of your nutrition by discovering what's really in the food you eat. A long ingredient list can be overwhelming, especially when some words are hard to pronounce. With a little more understanding of what's in the food you are eating, you can buy groceries with more confidence and less confusion. Reflect: how often do you read the ingredients list before purchasing that food or beverage? Breaking down the ingredient list. Use these quick, helpful tips to become an ingredient list professional. Shorter is better. A shorter ingredient list means fewer preservatives and in most cases a healthier item. Items with 5 or fewer ingredients will help you stick to healthier options. Examples: long list: granola and protein bars, sandwich crackers, cookies. Short list: bagged popcorn, fruit, veggie chips, baked bars. Look for ingredients that you can pronounce. If you can't pronounce it, you may not want to put it in your body. Ingredients are listed in order of weight. The first few ingredients in the ingredient list make up the bulk of that food item. Ideally, you want the first ingredients listed to be healthy ones. Examples: healthy ingredients: fruit, vegetables, water, whole grains, whole wheat. Unhealthy ingredients: sugars, refined flours, partially hydrogenated oils, nitrates. Sugar has many disguises. American adults consume 13.4% of their calories from added sugars. Manufacturers add these sugars to various food and beverage items to enhance flavor and keep you wanting more. Examples: high fructose corn syrup, fruit juice concentrate, agave syrup, brown rice syrup. When comparing food labels, opt for the item that has sugar further down on the ingredient list and try to go for unrefined sugars such as organic cane sugar, coconut sugar, honey, and maple syrup. Partially hydrogenated oils means trans fats. Just 2 grams of trans fat daily can increase your heart disease risk. Food manufacturers can claim 0 grams of trans fats if one serving of the food contains 0.49 grams or less. Start scanning the ingredient list for partially hydrogenated oils in popular packaging foods. Examples: crackers, cookies, cakes, frozen pies, microwave, popcorn, frozen pizza. Tip: practice leaving the food item behind if you see partially hydrogenated oils in the list. Find whole grains. Whole grains have more fiber and nutrients, which keep you full for longer. Examples: barley, oats, brown rice, whole semolina, quinoa, buckwheat. Look for the word whole on the package and ingredient list rather than multi-grain. Multi-grain products usually contain a mix of refined grains and whole grains. Aim to have at least half of your grains come from whole grain options. Check the Real Foods Nutrition Guide Appendix G, Know Your Ingredients, pages 196 to 197 for more information on scanning for whole grains and spotting added sugars. Knowing what your food is made of is a big step towards improving your nutrition. Read labels and the ingredient lists on the packages in your pantry, refrigerator, and at the store. This will help you learn more about what you are eating and can help you decide what food you would like to buy. Remember to opt for a shorter list. Focus on the first ingredients. Check for partially hydrogenated oil and sneaky sugar disguises, and look for whole grains. Have fun shopping and investigating this week. Article Session 9 Snapshots. Session 9 Snapshots. Review the information your coach shared during this week's group session. For your reference, you can download a PDF of Session 9 snapshots or view them below. Content videos: How to read a label in grocery shopping. How to read a label, grocery shopping. Rally Coach, Real Appeal Week 9. Tips to shop healthy and save money. Shop healthy, make a list, don't shop hungry, stick to the outer aisles, compare labels, save money, stock up during sales, buy frozen and in bulk, buy fresh in season, look for coupons. How to navigate the grocery store. 1. Produce, start here. 2. Middle aisles. 3. Meat, dairy, checkout. Nutrition facts, reading labels. Look at the serving size and servings per container. 2. Check the calories per serving. 3. Assess the nutrients. Go for it. Good sources of nutrients. Slow down and consume mindfully. Limit this as best you can. All about ingredients. The shorter the list, the better. Listed in order of weight. Sugar has disguises. Be mindful of sodium. Ingredients: whole grain oats, cashews, unsweetened cherries, dates. Ingredients: sugar, enriched flour, soybean and palm oil with DBHQ for freshness, high fructose corn syrup, modified cornstarch, hydrogenated palm kernel oil, 2% or less of cocoa. Ingredients list this or that. Ingredients: A. Whole wheat flour, expeller pressed sunflower oil, salt, cheddar cheese, organic yeast, non-fat, dry milk, paprika, baking soda, onion powder, cane sugar, celery seed, non-animal enzymes. Ingredients: B. Unbleached enriched flour, soybean and or palm oil, whey sugar, partially hydrogenated cottonseed oil, high fructose corn syrup, cheddar cheese powder, sunflower oil, salt, leavening, disodium phosphate, soy lecithin, dry yeast, maltodextrin, artificial color, natural flavor, modified tapioca starch, buttermilk, malted barley flour, lactic acid. Which item would you choose and why? What ingredients raised a red flag? Real appeal: 4 steps to build exercise habits. 1. Get clear on what you want to accomplish. What's my target? 2. Make it enjoyable. What could make movement more fun? 3. Set reminders. What could help me remember to say yes? 4. Track activity. How will I make exercise part of my routine? Article: A Guide to Navigate the Grocery Store. A guide to navigate the grocery store. Explore each section of the grocery store and have strategies to take control of your nutrition. How to navigate the grocery store. You can cut down your grocery shopping time by learning where to begin and end. Here's a blank shopping list organized by sections in the store and a staple shopping list. Along with the guide below, these tools will help you save time and stock up on the healthiest items in your grocery store. Start with produce. The produce section is usually the first thing you see when you walk into any grocery store. Tips: stick to the outside aisles of the store. Save money by buying a few different types of fruit and vegetables rather than too many. Fruits and vegetables. All fruits and vegetables are healthy. Buy what you enjoy most. Get creative and pick one fruit or vegetable you usually wouldn't purchase. Don't forget about frozen fruits and vegetables. Those count too. If you want to save time in the kitchen and the price is right, look for ready-to-use produce. Check out the seasonal produce guide and consider buying in-season fruit or veggies. Seasonal produce is harvested at its peak growth and may have better flavor and more nutrients. The outside aisles are where most healthy foods are, such as fruit, vegetables, dairy, lean meats, and seafood. Other healthy options like canned beans, olive oil, nuts, and seeds tend to be in the middle aisles. Check the label and read the ingredient list as you move mindfully in the middle aisles. Move mindfully in the middle aisles. You want to be mindful of the middle aisles since they can contain temptations which can increase cravings and impulse buys. Only shop in the middle aisles when you know you need something from them. Tips: have a healthy snack before you go. Plan and decide what food you feel comfortable with within your home. Canned and jar. Grab canned salmon, sardines, and tuna in water with low sodium or no salt added. Stick to broth or bean-based soups with no more than 400 milligrams of sodium per serving. Look for canned tomatoes that are unsalted or have less than 200 milligrams of sodium per serving. Canned fruits and vegetables are a cost-effective substitute for fresh produce. Aim for canned items in water or juice as opposed to syrup. Choose from a variety of canned beans and legumes, aiming for low sodium and or salt-free options. Look for different kinds of nut butter, such as almond, cashew, or peanut butter. A good substitute for nut allergies is sunflower seeds, butter, and tahini. Pasta: choose whole wheat, brown rice, chickpea, or lentil pasta. Try to find options with at least 4 grams of fiber per serving. Cereal and oatmeal: buy 100% whole grain cereals. The first ingredient to look for is whole wheat, oats, or some type of whole grain. Review the nutrition labels for added sugars. Aim for 0 or no more than 5 grams of sugar per serving. Opt for still cut, rolled, or old-fashioned oatmeal with no added ingredients rather than instant packets that are usually filled with added sugar and ingredients. Bread and wraps: buy 100% whole grain bread with 80 to 100 calories per serving. Pick tortillas and wraps that are whole grain and no more than 160 calories each. Corn tortillas are another option. Chips and crackers: look for chips with minimal ingredients and 120 calories or less per serving. Watch out for partially hydrogenated oil, which is trans fat. Choose crackers that are whole grain, nut, or seed based and 80 calories or less per serving. Bars and meal shakes: bars and shakes are convenient foods. You can consume them as a snack. However, they can be high in sugar and fats. Remember to review the ingredient list and aim for a short list filled with items you can recognize as food. Note: the guidelines below are suggestions for purchasing bars and shakes. Choose options based on what you feel is best for your nutritional needs. Bars: 230 to 250 calories per bar. Protein at least 9 grams, fiber at least 3 grams, added sugar including sugar alcohols less than 10 grams, fat less than 12 grams. Shakes: 130 to 190 calories per shake. Protein at least 7 grams, fiber at least 2 grams, added sugar less than 5 grams, fats less than 5 grams. Save the cool items for last. You will find much of the healthy food in the outside aisles of the store. Help keep these foods fresh by placing them in your car right before checkout. Tip: you can bring an insulated lunch bag to store cold items while you shop. Meats and poultry: look for lean deli meat such as ham, cold turkey breast, chicken, and roast beef. Ask for reduced sodium choices. Limit eating processed meats to once per week. Buy skinless chicken breast and thighs. The skin of poultry is high in fat and calories. Ground chicken and turkey are great options as well. Opt for lean red meat options and limit consumption to once per week. Examples: beef sirloin, rib chop, top round, lamb leg, loin, and shoulder. Choose lean ground beef that is at least 90% lean. Fish and seafood: purchase low sodium frozen seafood or fresh from the seafood counter. Unmarinated options would naturally be lower in sodium. Aim for 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish twice per week, such as salmon or halibut. Dairy and eggs. Buy milk according to your liking. 2% is a good option if you are looking for flavor with fewer calories and fat than whole milk. Try unsweetened dairy milk alternatives such as almond or cashew milk. When it comes to eggs, buy according to your liking, whether free range or organic. Stay with butter or margarine that doesn't contain partially hydrogenated oils, trans fats. Look for non-fat or low-fat regular or Greek yogurt. If it's flavored yogurt, look at the sugar content before adding it to your cart to ensure it has less than 13 grams of sugar per serving. Frozen foods, single-serve meals. Look for whole, balanced meals to ensure you get enough calories and nutrients. Protein at least 14 grams per meal. Fiber at least 3 grams per meal. Sodium less than 700 milligrams per meal. Keep the balanced portion plate in mind when choosing frozen options. Multiple serving entrees. You can pair pasta, chicken, and other main courses with healthy homemade size. Keep entrees at 200 to 300 calories per serving with no more than 600 milligrams of sodiums. Frozen treats, ice cream, and frozen dessert, no more than 150 calories per serving. Frozen waffles and pancakes, no more than 180 calories per serving. Look for whole grains and compare labels. Opt for foods high in fiber. Reflect. What would you do differently now that you know how to navigate the grocery store? You have a grocery shopping strategy in place, and this guide to help you become even more successful with your health and weight loss. Remember, healthy eating starts with what you bring home. Weekly bonus content, Week 9 Wellness Drop Summary. Week 9 Wellness Drop Summary, your one-stop shop for this week's wellness drops. This week's wellness drops included recipe, black bean brownies, workout, beginner shred workout 1, mindfulness tips, put distractions away and be present. Set a distraction-free time each day to sit and be present in the moment. Reflect on how you feel. Help yourself zero in on a focus with how balanced is your health and wellness article. Stay informed and empowered on your weight management journey by signing up for Healthline's Weight Management newsletter. Real Appeal and our affiliate Healthline are both part of RVO Health LLC. Article: Don't be fooled by food packaging claims. Don't be fooled by food packaging claims. Learn more about common food claims to make informed decisions on the foods you buy. Have you ever bought a food item because the packet said it was low sodium or sugar free, or thought it had to be a healthier option? You are not alone. We often look at a food package and see a claim staring back at us. But what does it really mean? Understanding these claims will allow you to make healthier decisions when grocery shopping. Reflect. What food claims most commonly persuade you into buying that item? Food content claims. Food content claims describe the level of a nutrient in the product. They can use terms such as free, high, and low, or they compare the nutrient level in a food to that of another food using terms such as more, reduced, and light. Examples: low sodium, fat-free, reduced sugar, more fiber than the other leading brand. Let's break down some of the most common content claims you see on food packages. Fat-free. The myth: this food item doesn't contain fat, so it's always a healthier option. The truth: the product does not contain fat, or it has less than 0.5 grams of fat per serving. Many processed fat-free foods have just as many calories or more than the full-fat version. Fat-free foods usually have more added sugar, preservatives, and unhealthy ingredients to make up for the flavor. Cholesterol-free, the myth. This food item is cholesterol-free, so I don't have to worry about unhealthy fats. The truth, one serving of the food item either doesn't contain cholesterol or has less than 2 milligrams of cholesterol. Foods loaded with saturated fat or trans fats can still claim they contain zero cholesterol. These foods are more of a threat to your heart health. Read each food item's ingredients list and nutrition label to have a better understanding of what you are buying. Aim to keep your total daily cholesterol consumption below 300 milligrams. Sugar-free. The myth. This food item doesn't have any sugar, so I can consume as much as I would like. The truth. One serving of the food or beverage contains 0 or less than 0.5 grams of sugar. Items that claim they are sugar-free use artificial sweeteners to enhance flavor. Artificial sweeteners can cause side effects such as headaches and bowel irritation. Natural sweeteners like maple syrup and honey can provide some nutritional benefits compared to table sugar. A simple guidance when you see the words free, low, reduce, or more. Free. The food has insignificant amounts of that specific nutrient in that item. Examples: fat-free, sugar-free, cholesterol-free. These foods can also have increased amounts of other unhealthy nutrients such as saturated and trans fats, added sugars, and artificial sweeteners. Check the label. Very low or low. The food has a little more content than food label as free. Reduce or less. The food has 25% less of a specific nutrient than the regular product. More, fortified and rich, added, extra. The food has 10% or more of the daily value TB than the regular product. Manufacturers can only use this claim for vitamins, minerals, protein, fiber, and potassium. Reflect. What would you do differently at the grocery store now that you have this information? Health claims. A health claim needs to be approved by the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and described to essential components: 1. A food or ingredient. 2. A disease or health-related condition. Let's break down some common examples to learn the truth. Heart healthy. According to the American Heart Association, AHA, a food must meet or exceed the following nutritional requirements per serving to receive a heart check mark: total fat less than 6.5 grams, saturated fat 1 gram or less, and 15% or less of the calories come from saturated fat. Trans fat less than 0.5 grams. The myth. This food item is heart healthy, so it's automatically healthy. The truth. You need to read the fine print disclaimer below the heart healthy claims. A common disclaimer is scientific evidence suggests but does not prove. Some studies can show a heart health claim to be true while others cannot prove it. Portion control isn't taken into consideration when making heart health claims. Example: a jar of nuts may have a heart healthy label, but eating half the jar in one sitting wouldn't be considered heart healthy. Pay attention to serving size. Good source of. This claim means the specific nutrient consists of 10% and 90% of the recommended daily value. You will likely see this claim for calcium, fiber, and whole grains. The myth. This food item is a good source of a nutrient, so I don't have to look at the rest of the label information. The truth. Many foods and beverages that use this claim can also contain unhealthy amounts of fat, sodium, and sugar. Continue to check the ingredients list and the nutrition facts label. Tips for all health claims. Read the entire message. The details of health claims are often in smaller print. Two food items with the same health claims may differ nutritionally. Look at sugar, sodium, fat, and fiber content to make the healthiest choice. A single food will not save or ruin your health. View the item in the context of your overall intake. Understanding food claims, reading the nutrition labels, and reviewing the ingredient list can help you make the healthiest choice. Article: The Scoop on Sodium. The scoop on sodium: don't let sodium stand in the way of living your healthiest life. Sodium is a mineral that occurs naturally in foods, or manufacturers can add it during processing. The average American consumes about 3,400 milligrams of sodium each day. To support your overall health, the American Heart Association AHA recommends an ideal limit of 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day, while having no more than 2,300 milligrams per day. The amount is in about a teaspoon of table salt. Reflect: how much sodium do you consume on average each day? What happens when you consume too much sodium? Weight gain. It can cause you to retain water, causing an increase on the scale. Stress on your heart. Retaining water stresses your heart and blood vessels. Hypertension. Your kidneys must work harder to keep up with the sodium imbalance, resulting in more water retention and hypertension. So how do you take control of your sodium intake? Take charge of your sodium. Check the label. Know the top sources of your sodium. Make swaps and be picky with your sodium. Check the label. The first step is to read the label and check the sodium content. Many food packages include claims about sodium, such as salt-free, less sodium, low sodium, or highly salted. But what does it mean? Remember what food claims mean, and note that the information below is based on serving size. Sodium-free, salt-free, or no sodium. The food or beverage has less than 5 milligrams of sodium per serving. No ingredients contain sodium chloride or sodium. Very low and low sodium. Very low equals 35 milligrams or less of sodium. Low equals 140 milligrams or less of sodium. Reduce or less sodium. At least 25% less sodium than the regular version of the same product. Light in sodium. At least 50% less sodium than the regular version of the same product. Lightly salted, 50% less sodium than normally added. No salt added or unsalted. This means that manufacturers didn't add salt during processing, but it doesn't mean that the food or beverage doesn't contain sodium. Be sure to check the labels. Compare labels and aim for the best option that is lower in sodium and suits your taste. Sodium sources and swaps. Check out the salty 6 below according to the AHA, with simple swaps to reduce your sodium intake. 1. Bread and rolls. Look for thinner sliced bread, dry sprouted grain bread, which usually has more nutrients and less sodium. 2. Pizza frozen dining out. Look for low sodium or reduced sodium on the frozen pizza label. Create your pizza at home. Reduce the cheese, processed meats, and marinara, and then load it up with veggies. 3. Cold-cuts and cure meats. Ask the deli counter for no salt added or reduced sodium cuts of meat such as turkey breast, roast beef, chicken, and lean ham. 4. Poultry frozen or processed. Fresh poultry is typically lower in sodium than its frozen counterpart. If buying frozen, aim for less than 100 milligrams of sodium for a 4-ounce serving of skinless and grill options. 5. Canned soups. Make a big batch of homemade soup and freeze it for leftovers. Opt for low sodium or reduced sodium broth or stocks. Add fresh vegetables to canned soups to create more servings, reducing the amount of sodium per serving. 6 tacos and burritos. To make homemade taco seasoning, use half a teaspoon of each of cumin, oregano, chili powder, and garlic powder for a total of 42 milligrams of sodium. Practice portion control when dining out and sodium adds up quickly. Be picky with your sodium. To help limit your sodium intake, be picky. P. Prepare more meals and snacks at home. I. Incorporate fresh food into your meals. C. Check the ingredients. K. Know your labels. Y. Yank the table salt away from your meals. How would you start limiting your sodium intake to 1,500 milligrams per day? Start checking the labels, paying attention to how much you are consuming, making simple swaps, and being picky. You've got this.